Hey guys, welcome to the channel. So today we're going to be continuing our mini carving tutorial series with a morel mushroom. Now, I know a bunch of these tutorials we've already done, but you know, people really enjoy them. Each tutorial, even if it's the same sort of idea or piece, usually has a little bit different style, but I want to continue with the mini carving series as not everyone has access to large chunks of wood to start carving. So today we'll be using the MSA 160 with a dime tip bar that's over there and my MSA 200. You guys could use your 170s, a small saw. I'm going to be running 43 gauge chain, not 50. So 43 gauge chain's a much thinner cut for the smaller carvings, all right? And yeah, let's just get into it. So this piece is screwed on right here, okay? As you guys can see, I've got a whole setup. I just put up a small video about upgrading your jaw horse. If you haven't seen it, it'll be popping up here. Check that out, okay? And you guys will get the whole gist of what's going on here. But what I've done is pre-drilled a hole in this board, and I've put a timber lock screw right up through the bottom into this log. Now that means I do have to be careful. I can't go cutting this in half, because the screw I have is actually overkill. It's like 4.5 inches long, so it's going to be like all the way up in here, which means when I narrow in the mushroom at the bottom, I have to make sure not to hit that screw. So that's something you guys would have to be conscious of. If you did not want to do this, you'd have to put it in the jaw horse the same way we did the Christmas tree and the way we did the other mushrooms, and then be careful not to hit the jaw horse. But I also made an upgrade for that, and you guys can check that out in that upgrade your jaw horse video. So go there and check that out, and then come back here and get into this carving, okay? So first thing we're going to do is get started. I'm going to use the MSA 200 and do most of the work. Then I'm going to use the 160 with the dime tip bar to add the little pleats, if you will, that are in a morel mushroom. Now if you don't have a dime tip bar, that's okay. If you have, you know, power carving tools, go ahead and use your flame bit in, you know, your Dremel or your router, not your router, I'm sorry, your Dremel or your die grinder to make those last cuts. But let's go ahead. I'm gonna get my gloves on and turn this camera on so you guys can get a first person view, and we'll start shaping this piece up. Okay, now you want to establish where the base of your mushroom is going to be. Keep in mind that screw's in there. Not going in very deep, maybe 1/4 of an inch, all right? Also, if you're running a gas saw, even a battery saw, walking around and moving, you know, you guys should be engaging your chain brake and just being safe. Boy, hopefully you guys are able to see here. My camera moved on me, but all I did was create a cone, and we did a line around the base there. So now we're going to create another line about this far down, all the way around, separating the mushroom from where the stem section is going to be. then I'm going to remove the rest of the bark on the upper.
Just a little add on here, guys. It's always good to remove that bark by hand before you start carving. You don't have to worry about hitting sand or dirt with your saw. So if you can do that before you start carving, it's always a good practice, a good thing to do.
Alright guys, I forgot to mention this piece is probably about 3 inches across for the widest part of this little log or stick, if you will. And just a reminder, you know, creating these videos for those of you that aren't able to get large logs to carve, and even if you are and you're just getting into carving, it is good to do these little carvings, right? If you have the right saw and you're set up to do it. And I believe it's a good idea because you're working muscles, right? Muscles that are gonna build and get stronger, so when you go to do a big carving, you're not so fatigued. You will be surprised. The muscles in your arms, your shoulders, your back, and even your legs that you use when you're carving. And if you're using a big heavy saw, or you're getting into it and you really got tons of orders to pump out and you're just getting started, you will find out how much how many muscles you use and you do not use. So there's just a lot of little things that you're doing here when moving the saw and whatnot that's building muscles in your forearms and your biceps and your shoulders. And like I said, if you're new to carving, you'll really notice it now. And then when you get into doing bigger carvings, you'll kind of built up that muscle mass, you'll build up that stamina, and it won't be as bad. So what I've got to do now is cut in a little bit deeper into the mushroom area. So this is where you want to be conscious, you know, did the screw go in straight, how far up, and all that good stuff. So we want to make sure we're not hitting our screw, okay guys? And actually I'm going to be cutting down like this at an angle. Now these mushrooms can be knocked out pretty quick once you get the hang of them. Now I'm going to do upcuts and remove those pieces. Okay, now we made that line here. We're gonna come in maybe 1/4 of an inch and just cut down to that line.
Well guys, I just wanted to put a little reminder in here that this is a solid round log. Solid round logs, regardless to the size, usually crack the worst when they dry. So I always let my customers know, hey, it's green wood, it is going to crack. As far as small pieces like this, I don't do repairs on them. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Normally these are one-time quick sales. These people are at craft fairs. They're not coming back for a bigger piece. That's usually just the way it works out for me. Now, large carvings, I do that first repair on me and I fix them up, recarve, make them look nice.
Okay, and basically you have this thing blocked out. Now I'm going to use the nose of the bar and kind of sand it, as I say. And what that is we're going to just sort of kiss the carving with the bar with this kind of motion. Now we got to make sure not to go too deep, because in here somewhere that screw is holding this piece down, so don't go hog wild with it. All right, and that is it for the 200. I'm done with it. I won't be using it anymore. I'm going to use the dime tip bar, but for you, if you don't have a dime tip bar, I suggest a flame bit, okay? And you basically would go in and just kind of make some half moon sort of marks all around. Basically the marks I'm going to make with the saw, you could do with the flame bit, and you'll see what those look like here in just a second. So I got the camera on the 160 with a dime tip bar. You guys might be noticing I'm only wearing one glove. It's so that I can keep hitting the camera to make sure everything is on screen and in focus. So here we are, right? So this is straight cutting. This is angle cutting. See the differences? We want to kind of come in at an angle like this and sort of swoop it in. Now I try to make these be all over so they're not the same direction, and usually I space them out a little bit more than that. You don't really have to move the saw a whole lot. The nose of the bar makes the perfect size if you're carving a small one like this. We're also using the side of the bar to make these cuts. We're not nose plunging, okay? We're using the side of the chain, the side of the bar. I gotta move the jaw horse. Alrighty. Well guys, that's it. I'm done. All right guys, so that is the carving, all right? Now I do want to give a shout out to Colin Smith, first guy to join the members, the membership part of my YouTube channel. Colin's been around following my work, following my my channel for a long time. I really do appreciate it, bud. I really do. Thanks, man. Thanks for becoming a member. And there is one other guy who was the second person to jump on to become a member, and that is Skeleton Elvis. I believe that was the name. Dude, I appreciate the support. You know, right now these guys have jumped on and decided to join as members at this point to help the channel. There's not a huge pile of perks there at the moment, and so I really do appreciate it, you guys. And you know, going forward, I hope that we can build that membership thing up and work together to figure out what is going to be the best way for me to help you and for you to help me in doing that. And if you out there watching are interested in becoming a member of the channel, be sure to check it out. I'll see if I can link that thing down below in the video, or you guys can go where you hit subscribe, it'll say join. You hit join right there, it'll show you how to become a member. You can also go to the home page of my channel at the top when you're scrolling over to the community section, and right there I think it says memberships, so you guys can click that, see what being a member is all about, see what I've got available right now. Again, it's something I'm trying to grow, something I'm trying to evolve here in 2021. I'm hoping to give you guys one-on-one tutorials. You know, we're doing mini tutorials, but there's details, there's little things that we could spend more time on in answering questions and things like that, and I really hope to be able to hone in on doing those videos for everyone that becomes a member. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not going to stop my tutorials here, but I want to be able to have them coexist, you know. And if you're interested in just supporting the channel itself and helping it grow because you like my art, because you like my videos, and you'd like to see me do it full time, feel free to be a member. It's all welcome. I do appreciate it. And yeah, hope this mini carving video will help you in your adventure of carving and skill set and building some muscle for those bigger carvings. Be sure to give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe if you guys haven't already, and keep an eye out for that next video. Thanks.